For some reason, I felt her saying that you'll be able to feel her when driving.
Yeah. Because I was at my sister and brother-in-law's, I had her ashes in the back seat of my car until we got back here. And so, but that was for like a month. So every time I would get in the car, I would talk to her.
Okay, and that's why yeah, because she showed me you talking to her while in the car. And that's when she said she can feel me when she talks to me. So she was there. Was it the seat directly behind the passengers or behind the driver's seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, because that's where she's showing me is behind the driver's seat.
Welcome to Woo New, a show that explores healing and the expansion of our consciousness.
Where we explore all kinds of different energy modalities, therapies, and ideas that bring us closer to our collective liberation.
I'm Ellen, and I'm a journey work guide.
I'm Sam, and I am an integrative energy therapist.
And together, we are the co-creators of We Are All Daughters,
a quantum healing space dedicated to helping us reconnect to ourselves, our bodies, each other, and the universe. So today is going to be a really, really special conversation, and one that was sort of, I feel like, divinely inspired. We have the honor of speaking with Jaime Breeze, who's a spiritual medium and animal communicator. And if for anyone who hasn't listened to our previous episodes, we interviewed her earlier, I believe last year, wasn't it? It's episode 55, the wisdom of animals, and you've got to check it out. It's Jaime's gifts are so incredible, and we're so thrilled to have her here. But for anyone who doesn't know, a little backstory on why we felt like this was the perfect time is because I had a 13-year-old German Shepherd named Mika, and she passed away earlier this year in July. And Ellen was so kind and so supportive through my grieving process. And part of that was she gifted me a session with Jaime to connect with Mika and to really it was like I received a nugget of hope for when we'll get to be together again. Sorry. And it was so beautiful because I was just listening to the recording of the session, and Jaime, there were so many things that she told you that were so specific that I'm going back to now, and I'm like, you just can't make this stuff up. And it was it just felt really empowering, like I was so much closer to her again. And so thank you so much for that reading and for being here. Like, I can't even tell you how excited we are.
I'm excited to be here too. And as I've mentioned to both of you before, Mika, I've connected her twice, once in the physical and once in the non-physical. And she has inspired me since I've met her. She's just the most courageous, beautiful, strongest soul. One of the strongest ones I've ever met. And it's been an honor to know her. And I've never met her face to face, just on different realms. And yeah, so thank you both.
Yeah. And the timing felt so perfect because we didn't really get into this in your last interview, but we wanted to talk about animal reincarnation and like the process of grieving our fur babies when we lose them. And like, your gifts are so special in helping us really reconnect with our animals, even spiritually, while they're going through the process of reincarnation. And we'd love to hear a little bit about that. I know you share some stories that you with clients that you've worked with on this specifically on your Instagram. And it's just like, literally for me, I'm like, oh my God, like fast forward time, just like bring me to that moment right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been into reincarnation ever since I was a little girl. I spoke openly about previous lives I remembered. And, thankfully I had very supportive family and a network around me to encourage that and encourage me to embrace that and talk about it. So I was one of the lucky ones whose gifts weren't shunned or shut down per se. And then, I fell in love with my dog in this lifetime when I adopted her as an 8-year-old. And, I felt so connected and so I felt she was my soulmate, and I
Yeah.
knew that deep down. And then when she passed away in 2016, that's when I thought, well, you know what? My grief is so thick and deep. I don't want to feel this way for the rest of my life. If I believe in reincarnation and I know I've reincarnated before, why can't I get my dog to reincarnate back to me? And that's how kind of this whole process began, is asking Breeze to reincarnate back to me. And long story short, she did 2.5 years later. And so that's kind of what propelled me into these offerings with other people and trying to remind people that, you know, your relationship isn't over with your animal after they pass away. It's just in a different form right now, and they can and they will come back to us. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about that today with you guys.
Yeah. What was that process like while your dog was reincarnating that 2.5 years for you?
Well, at first it was a tremendous grief. um One of the main things, I talk to my clients about is that grief, animal grief, is not recognized enough in our society. It's pushed
100%.
under the rug, like swept under the rug, pushed under the bed. You're supposed to get up, go back to work the next day. You're just supposed to get another dog, replace your dog because it was just a dog or just a
Right.
cat or just a horse. And that's not the case. For many of us, our animals are our families, our soulmates, our companions, everything to us, our children. So when they pass away, we need to honor our grief and
Mm.
take that time. And we shouldn't be expected anything from society or those around us. Nothing. We should be able to do our own grieving process as we see fit. So now, doing this on a professional level over a few years now, I see more resources out there, grief counseling for animals and all that stuff. So that's nice. That's nice to know that people are acknowledging it and being more open to it. But so when that happened with me and Breeze transitioning, I was shocked, and she was 16. She passed away the day after her
Wow.
16th
Wow.
birthday. And
Wow.
so some people are like, well, you got good 16 years out of her, whatever. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if it was a year or 10 or 20. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
finished.
Yeah.
I felt cheated. I felt lost, confused. I just felt so strong. She's my soulmate. How can this relationship be over? That didn't feel right to me. It felt unfinished.
Mm.
Hmm.
And so I took some time, to really grieve. I cried every day. I lost so much weight from grieving, and, I was weak and couldn't smile.
Mm.
I just went through day to day like a zombie. And then finally, I realized one day, like I said, I was like, well, if I believed in reincarnation as a kid, why can't I get my dog to reincarnate back? And I actually found an Abraham Hicks recording about animal reincarnation. I'm sure you ladies are very familiar with Abraham Hicks. Um, and Abraham talked about animals coming back. And I was like, there, that's all I needed to know. Okay, so what do I have to do to get my dog to reincarnate back? So I decided to ask. I was like, Breeze, I need you back in this life. Can you come back? And I put it out there. I set my intention, and I started feeling a bit better. Like I started getting like a little pep back in my step. I felt a bit livelier. Like, okay, I now have a mission. I now have to work hard and find her again. And so, 4 months after she originally passed away, I finally got my first message from her. And she just came to me in a dream and she was there and I knew and I felt her around me. And she said, I felt her being like, yep, our mission together isn't over. It's never over, whether I'm in a physical body or a non physical body. And she said to me, she said, Mom, when your car breaks, you take it to the shop. They fix it up and then you go and get it and it comes back home. She's like, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just gone to get a new body. And I was like, okay, that is so interesting how she like made it like a mechanic in a car thing. So I was like, okay, I'm trusting this. I'm going with it. And so my conviction was so strong. I convinced everyone around me in my life that my dog is reincarnating and I have to find her. And so over the process of like the first chunk of time, I'm going to say, she showed me images of where she was. Like, so the first image, she showed me floating in the universe as a puppy in a puppy body. And she showed a cord, and to me, it looked like an umbilical cord going from her belly into mine. And she made me aware that we are always tethered together, no matter what. And same with you, Sam, with Mika, and you, Ellen, with Norm and Lola. Like, your animals are your animals and you're their people. So we're always tethered together. And, so the process went like that for a few months. She would show me being up high and she felt very spiritual and, a higher realm. And then one day she kind of felt different. And I was like, okay, her energy feels a bit lower. So I felt like, okay, maybe the reincarnation process now is beginning. And I heard her say to me June 6th or 7th, like around there. And I was like, okay, does that mean she's going to be born on June 6th or 7th of this year? And so I just felt she was a different energy body. And I was like, okay, so she's probably in a womb. She's probably getting ready to be born on June 6th or June 7th, around there. And then dog gestation is like 60 days or something, 75 days. And so I like calculated it out. I was like, okay, she's going to be born like first week, second week of August. Perfect. And she told me in a certain roundabout way that she was going to be west of where I live. And I live in the Rocky Mountains in Canada. And so there's not many towns near me. Like our nearest airport's 4 hours. So for her to say like she's west of me in about a 4 hour range, that's convenient. That is super convenient. I'm like, perfect. Not on the other side of the world and stuff. So come August, I'm like, okay, Breeze is reborn. I need to drive out to these hamlets in the middle of the mountains and look for puppies and all this stuff. And I'm looking around and I was driving out asking people, do you know of any puppies for sale? I kept being turned down. No, no, no. I'm like, where is she? And, I started going a little crazy because I was like, I know my dog is here and I need her now. What if I can't find her? What if someone else adopts her? What if? And it drove me a little nuts. And I was looking online for puppies for sale. I was getting my friends in these farming communities to ask everyone around, do you have puppies? Do you have puppies? Do you have puppies? And then one night I had a dream and it was clear as day. And it said the name Zoe, Zoe. And it was in gold letters and there was blue butterflies all around it. And I woke up and I was like, okay, someone by the name of Zoe has my dog. So it was so funny because in one of the towns an hour west of here, one of my good friends, she is a grade 4 teacher out there. And so I asked her, I said, do you have any students or by the name of Zoe? And she's like, yeah, I do. I have one. And I'm like, okay, she knows where my dog is. You need to ask her today if she has a litter of puppies or whatever. And so she asked this poor little girl. This girl's like, no, I don't have a litter of puppies. And so I talked to my friend that night. I'm like, no, she has my dog somewhere. I'll go back and ask her, does your aunt have puppies? Does your cousin have puppies? Where are these puppies? So she next day goes to class. Zoe, do you have any puppies? Like, does your family, does your cousin, do your aunt? She's like, no. And I harassed my friend so bad. I'm like, Chelsea, this girl knows where my dog is. You need to go and ask her. And she bothered this girl so much for me. It was such a blessing. But finally, this girl one day was like, Miss D, I don't have any puppies. Stop bothering me. And so that was a dead end road. And I was like, no, she has them. I know she does. So anyway, I kept searching and searching. And 2 weeks later, I saw a picture of this dog on Kijiji, and I sent it to my partner who was at work. And I didn't tell him about this Zoe dream I had because I was already driving him nuts for 2.5 years. And so I sent him this picture, and he's an electrician. So he was working, he was on a ladder, and he told me he almost fell off his ladder when he looked at that photo, and he had got goosebumps all over him. And he messaged me back. He's like, Jaime, you need to contact whoever posted that photo now. I think that's Breeze. And he got the hit from it. I didn't, because I was too invested, So I wrote whoever posted this photo. I'm like, just wanted to see if you can, give me more information about this dog and if you can send more photos. So that night I got home from work, and I'm just sitting on the couch having a glass of wine, and my brother was there visiting from out of town, and my partner was there too. And I get an email from this woman who had posted it, and she's like, hey, here are more pictures of Zoe. And I just started screaming at the top of my lungs and crying. And I'm like, it's her. And my boyfriend and brother had no clue, because I didn't share with them about my dream, because everyone thought I was going crazy. And I'm like, it's Zoe. Her name is Zoe. It wasn't a person by the name of Zoe who has Breeze. Breeze's name is Zoe. And so I messaged the lady. I'm like, we'll be right there. And so it was a 4-hour drive. We had to leave at 5 a.m. the next day because we couldn't go that night. The roads are too dangerous with moose and elk and stuff. But so we drove out the next day and got my reincarnated dog back.
Wow.
And and so anyway, the reason why I found her later than I expected was because June 6th was actually the conception date, not the birth date. So I got that a little mixed up. So I was looking for her like a psychopath for 4 weeks earlier than before I should have been, or whatever. So so I got Breeze back, and it's been exactly where we left off. And it's so amazing. And everyone who meets Breeze in this new body, they're like, wow, that is 100% her.
Wow.
People who didn't believe in this stuff, people who called me crazy, and I don't care being called crazy. Crazy's good in my mind. So that was kind of a lesson and a learning process for me. Breeze showed me the different steps, the different levels of vibration of being on the other side, then going into the womb, and then, feeling her on the physical planet again. And so that's kind of what I try and do with clients who want to go on this journey, who want their animals to reincarnate back. I'm pretty sure all animals do reincarnate back in our lives, whether you believe it or not. And it's okay if you don't want to know. You want to have a different relationship. But with me and Breeze, I was like, no, I need her. I want her. I don't want another dog. I want her. Because I knew our time together, we still had work to do.
Right.
And so anyway, I'll stop there, but because I could talk all day.
I mean, honestly, I totally understand that feeling. Like, especially now that Mika's gone, I'm like, part of me, and I know this is the grieving process talking, is like, if I were to get another dog now, I feel like I'd be cheating on her or like cheating myself out of my own grieving process. Um, and I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going to let that happen and lengthen the amount of time that it takes for her to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. I worked with spiritual healers as well during this journey. And one told me that they saw Breeze coming back in 4 years. And I said, I can't wait that long. So I'm going to speed up the process. And the thing that people have to understand when your animals are going to reincarnate back, there's always a lesson for us to learn. And we have to grow in a certain way. And so I put my nose to the ground and I worked so hard on my journey and my lesson. And I knew that lesson was understanding animal reincarnation. So I was open to it and I worked, instead of going out with my friends, I taught myself how to meditate stronger and better and like all this stuff because I had a path and I knew what that path was. And Sam, remind me, did we tap into what your purpose was?
What? I was just listening to the recording of it, and well, a couple things came up when we were specifically talking to her about reincarnation, and one was that during my grieving process, she showed you a baby girl that you had asked me about, and my sister is due to have my niece at the end of October, beginning of November, so being with her and spending time with her is going to be part of my healing process. But the reason that I bring that up is because when we specifically talked to her about reincarnation, she showed you an image of my niece at like 6 or 7 playing with a new puppy. And that's how she sort of gave us the timeline.
Right.
To which I was very disappointed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. But remember, so I sped it up so you can speed it up too. And yeah, and sometimes we're not given the full reasoning because we have to figure out on our own.
Yeah.
And a lot of, actually, I'm going to say this, 100% of the people I do reincarnation animal work with, their purpose is always internal. There's something internal they have to understand about themselves.
Yeah. When we asked Mika about what I needed to work on, I remember you being like, she showed me all of you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit.
And which is the hardest part because it's almost like we can't pay the therapist. We can't pay this person to do the work for us. We can't hire we have to figure that out and go within. It's the hardest, most challenging, most difficult thing ever. So,
how did you get to understand your purpose though, Jaime, like after losing Breeze the first time?
You know what? If I think about that, like I probably have to go and look through my journal I kept about the message and stuff. It was a conviction and it was a claircognizance kind of feeling. So claircognizance is a clear knowing of the spiritual energy. Like, you walk into a room and you know something, or you meet someone for the first time and you know something about them. That's a claircognizance kind of feeling. But Breeze kind of told me, you need to understand this reincarnation process and go through it and be at the raw nitty-gritty hardship of it all. Wow. And I never asked questions about it, but it wasn't until after Breeze came back that I fully understood what that lesson was. And that lesson being knowing the ins and outs of it so I can tell other people and help them through that journey and that process.
It so feels like she was your teacher going through that. Yeah. And it's like a process like that requires the time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so comforting to know that you sped up that timeline, but it also is like, it requires that time in order to really experience it probably the way that you needed to.
Yeah. And for those of you listening who are going through this right now, you don't have to go crazy like I did and searching like high and low and stalking 8-year-old children and stuff because your animal is coming back for you only, and they will get to you in the most weirdest roundabout ways. So if you need, you can just sit back and relax and get through that lesson. You're supposed to, but you don't have to be searching online and farms and driving all around the countryside for your pet. They will get back to you. So you can take a deep breath knowing that you don't need to fully go through that to that extent.
Yeah. I remember you telling me on like during our session with Mika, you were telling me a story about one of your other clients who had just reconnected with her reincarnated pet. And like the synchronicities and the way that it came together is so crazy. Like I feel like that would be it's such a helpful story to know because like the answers are in front of us, but they're never quite what we think they are.
Yeah. So this is such a cool story and I love it. And Sam, I can't remember if my client had her reincarnated dog back at the moment or she was just waiting until he was old enough to leave
She,
his
this
mom.
was the one about Summer, so she had just gotten
Yes,
her
yes.
back.
Oh, because she had just gotten her back. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so her dog Kobe passed away. He got really sick. And so when he was on the other side, she heard a clear voice saying, "Mom, I'm on my way." And she knew it was, oh, and I just got goosebumps all over my body. I love it. She knew it was Kobe saying, "I'm coming back." So she found me online and she's in Australia and she booked a session with me and she's like, "I need you to tap in. I feel like my dog's reincarnating back." And I was like, "Yeah, let's see what information we can get for him." And he showed me when he was in his body, he had an extra toe. And I was very confused about this. So I was like, "Kat, did Kobe have an extra toe?" And she laughed and she said, "No, but kind of." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "So he jumped out of his kennel one day and ripped like his one of his toenails completely off."
Oh,
And so
wow.
she had to take him to the vet and then they like took the thumb off or whatever. I can't really quite remember. And it ended up by growing back, but really
Mm.
wonky. So technically, he grew an extra toe and really wonky. And Kobe told me that it bothered him. He didn't like the look of it. So he's like, "But so when I come back, I'm going to come back perfect. I want to be perfect." And I was actually the second animal communicator this woman had reached out to. And the first animal communicator said he wants to come back perfect. So I was like, "Great, we're on the same page. We're definitely connecting to the right dog." So anyway, he showed me on a visual map, like in my head, that he was going to be northwest of my client and that for her to look for yellow flowers, milk jugs, and there's going to be one white puppy in the litter. And I felt it was like coming soon, like the end of July or whatever. And so she messages me that a couple days later, she's like, "Jaime, we found this litter of puppies. It's northwest of us. We're going on Saturday." And I was like, "Great, keep me updated." So on their journey, it was a couple hours away. They took a wrong turn. And she looked on the map and she said, "Well, we can still get to this town by continuing on this back road." So they kept continuing on the back road and they kept going. And there was like billions and billions of yellow flowers rolling through the
Wow.
hillside for kilometers, leading her to this town. And so she sent me photos of this, and you can't deny it. Like, it's amazing. And then everyone in the town were using old milk jugs as their mailboxes.
So amazing.
And then they get to this agency where it was a pregnant mom who had the pups. So they were very fresh. Like she was a rescue or foster. And so it's at this rescue center. And so they met with the pups, and there was one white dog in the litter. And she's like, "Oh, we're like, oh my God, Kobe's there, 100%." How can he not be? Right? Those, you can't deny those signs.
Mm.
So, anyways, again, puppy too young, can't adopt them. So, she went back a couple times to get the feel, try and figure out which one was him. Every time they were going back, like there was a sign, and including there was like this milk truck in front of them that had the milk jugs picture on it or something like that. So it was like leading them back to this agency, leading them back. And so she felt like she had found Kobe in this litter. However, he had already been spoken for. So she's like, Jaime, I don't know what to do. Like, I think he's being spoken for and they're available for adoption end of July. And I kept seeing the number 20. I saw the number 27. Um, so I was like, okay, well, it's coming up to July 27. Like, something's got to happen. Maybe this girl is going to adopt this dog who we think is Kobe and it'll work out and bring him back and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Kobe, this so-called Kobe dog gets adopted and the girl falls in love with him and doesn't want to give this dog up. And so I'm confused. My client's confused. So she hires another person to help her. And this other communicator said, well, that dog you thought was Kobe is actually going to have a heart murmur or something with his chest, and Kobe wants to come back perfect. So then there's three people say that Kobe wants to
Whoa.
come back perfect. So we're like, okay, so maybe he decided not to go in that litter. But like, as a spiritual soul, wouldn't you have known that dog was going to have a heart murmur? Why would you show us all these amazing concrete signs, right? So we're baffled. And like, if you look at my email thread with my client, there's probably 1,000 emails back and forth because we're both baffled. And she heard her dog say to her, Mom, I'm coming back in summer. But in Australia, it's winter right now, right? So we're like, does she have to wait till like 6 months? But I kept seeing like the month of July, August, you know, I'm so confused. So anyway, the agency calls her a couple weeks later because she knew she was disappointed that she didn't get that puppy and said, we just had another pregnant dog come in. Her name is Summer. Would you like to be the first on our
Whoa.
list to see the puppies?
I know,
And
right?
she
Oh.
said yes. So Kobe showed us all the signs of where he was going to be. We were just a little too early. We were early by 2 weeks. So she brought him home August 27th. And that's where the 27th was coming in.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, I just got full body goosebumps because I'm like,
Right? Isn't that
oh,
so sweet? I love it. And again, for anyone out there listening, my client isn't psychic. She's not an animal communicator. So anyone can get the messages from their pets on the other side. You just have to be open and willing to trust it. And if it
mhm.
doesn't happen to you, that's okay too, because they will come back and they will
Yeah.
find you in the weirdest ways possible. So, yeah, I love that story.
Yeah, that story gives me so much hope. I also feel like it's important to know that you're still like to just remember, I think just for us on, who are doing the work and waiting for our animals to reincarnate that, your pets are always still around even when they're on the other side. And there's like what I love about working with you, Jaime, is that your gifts are so concrete. Like your reading with Mika was so on point. Like there were just things like that you couldn't possibly have known about that Mika told you, like about my niece, or about how I would talk to her in the car and she'd be sitting in the seat behind me. And then I even at one point was listening to the recording and you said that the second sign that I'm gonna be able to sense with her is smell. Like I'll smell her around somewhere. And so, and she told you she was incontinent too. So it's like all these things that like I had never spoken to you about. So it would be really impossible seemingly for you to know. Um, and a couple times in the last 2 weeks, I walked into my room and it was like the whole room smelled like dog pee. And I was like, there's no possible way that just one day out of nowhere it smells like dog pee. And then, like, the first time it happened, like a few hours later, it didn't at all. And then the second time it happened, it was like for a full day. And then the next day it was gone. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's her. It's not the most
Right.
pleasant smell, but
Yeah. You know what? That happened with me actually when Breeze was on the other side because she was incontinent as well. And yeah, I had those smells too. And it's funny. It's interesting how they want to share that one, but it's like you can't deny that smell.
yeah. Yeah. Like, it was so strong. I was like, what is going on? Did like something come up from underneath the carpet? And then I remembered our reading and I was like, oh my God, she's here. But I
Wow.
also feel like since our reading, there have been times where it was like, I'll be in the middle of doing something and then I can feel her like palpably next to me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's it's so comforting. It's hard, but it's also kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah. And because it's like that emotional feeling, that's why a lot of our times our animals or even our relatives on the other side, they don't allow us to feel them or hear them or see them or smell them because
Yeah.
it's so emotional. And they don't want us to feel that emotion. They don't want to make us upset, which is kind of the opposite because you're like, well, no, show me you're still with me and I'll be okay. But they do, and then we have a breakdown, like because we miss them so much. So they're like, well, make up your mind. So yeah, they kind of take a step back. They kind of move away. So that's why it can take months or even years to recognize a sign. But yeah, all our animals are still around us constantly. They love us so much. They don't want to leave us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the other cool thing about connecting with them while they're in a non-physical form is they show us the things they're still involved in. I had a client recently who just lost her dog due to cancer, and the dog said, "Mom, I'm still sleeping by your head." And she was like, "Yeah, she always slept." It's a large dog, a Bernese Mountain Dog,
Oh
Oh
my
my God.
and it would sleep at her head on the pillow
Oh.
between her and her husband. And the dog was showing this, saying, "Yeah, I'm still sleeping there. Like I'm
Oh,
still here." Um, yeah, so there's always these. I like to give evidence and to prove to people that their animals are always a part of them. That relationship isn't over. They will be back. They are there, but they will be back in the physical form.
yeah. There was this really cool synchronicity too between, like, she told you that I would find pennies in my bathroom sink, which hasn't happened yet, but that is really similar to an experience that you've had, right, with one of your animals.
Finding coins.
Yeah.
Yeah, my other dog Stanley, who passed away 9 years ago, he leaves us dimes all over the place. So dimes are always like a message from spirit, and we will find them in the most random places. We were walking down a beach in the middle of the Canadian wilderness, like northern British Columbia, not a soul around, and there's a dime there. And my partner, as I mentioned, he's an electrician and he was working on a house from like the 1930s, and he took off a baseboard and there was a dime from like 5 years ago there. Like, how did that
Oh,
dime get in there? The house was built in the 1930s. So we have a collection of dimes from our dog on the other side. And, the day I took Breeze to be put down, um, I was distraught and she couldn't even walk. And the vet tech brought out a blanket for me to lie her on. And then we all had to carry the corners and lift her into the room. And as we put the corners down, there were two dimes there.
Oh my
oh,
And
goodness.
yeah, and Stanley was saying, me and Breeze are going to be together.
Oh,
I got this, Mom. I'm
I
taking
just,
care of her. And yeah, and it was interesting because a couple of weeks prior, my boyfriend was mowing the yard. So he's done the entire yard. He's raked up all the grass clippings, whatever. And then he went outside to have a beer. There's two dimes sitting in the grass.
oh my
And he's like,
God.
yeah, he took a photo and he's like, Jamie, I think this is a sign from Stan saying that his Breeze needs to go soon and he's going
Oh,
to take care of her. And it was like, he's like, I just cut the grass. There's no way those dimes were there a minute ago.
Wow.
So, yeah, coins are a huge symbol from spirit. Huge.
Mm. Can I ask, like, in your experience working with people and just even in your own experience, like, I've had, other dogs as family members before, but I don't think it's really until I met Norm that I felt such a like soul level connection
yeah.
where I feel like, okay, I mean, even the thought, he's not even 2 yet, but like even the thought of him passing, like it will, I mean, I'll just like be destroyed. Like I'll just start crying out of nowhere. But I'm curious, like these animals, like no matter what, they are with us, but it feels to me like there's some that are just the connection is just stronger for some reason.
Yeah,
Has
that's
that
very
been your
true.
experience as well?
Yeah. And you know what I think that comes down to? And I don't have all the answers. This is just from doing communications and tapping into
Mm-hmm.
the other side of what I've kind of learned and seen is, yeah, like you and Norm are probably soulmates,
Mm.
and people think soulmates have to be human and human, but they don't. Like Breeze is definitely my soulmate, and my boyfriend. We've been together 13 years. He is a okay with that. He's like, "Yep, you and Breeze do your thing. I'm watching the baseball." But yeah, so I think it's a soulmate connection,
Mm.
and I think it's really deep. Like I've had awesome family dogs before, awesome, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I was obviously always the most devastated when they passed away because I was so connected to them, but never did I have this connection that I do with Breeze.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I boil it down to,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's a lot of past life stuff there too,
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah.
definitely.
Do you think that Stanley is going to reincarnate?
Well, so the thing with Stanley, so Stanley was my boyfriend's dog. Then when him and I met, we got together and started dating. Stanley, I had Breeze in her other body. So then
Mm.
it was the four of us. And Stanley became such a mama's boy. That Colin is my boyfriend's name. He couldn't believe it. He would just roll his eyes like Stanley would like watch me get ready, put my makeup on. I'd pretend to put makeup on Stan, and he'd like sit there. I had to pretend to curl his eyelashes, and I'd have to wash his face with a cloth at night, and it was hilarious. And he's just like, you took my wilderness mountain dog and made him like a mama's spa dog. I'm like, I can't help it. He's a mama's boy. And Breeze would never do that. Breeze is like a wilderness dog too. So anyway, it was funny. So when Stan passed away, and and the talk, and then Breeze passed away 6 years after, and I told Colin, I said, it's up to you. It's up to you if you want Stan to come back because he
Oh,
was yours. And at the time he said, I think I'm okay. Stan and
Mm.
I had a good chunk of time together, and I want to keep that memory the way it was. So Stan's kind of uh, not at this moment. And I said, okay, well, if you ever change your mind, let me know and we can work on that. And so I would
Mm.
love to have Stan back, but I'm kind of honoring Colin's process of it. And I'm
right.
Yeah.
sure one day down the road, Colin will be like, yeah, let's get Stan back. But what we did was after Stan passed away, Breeze in her previous body, she couldn't be left alone. So it was very challenging for us to go to work and stuff because Breeze grieved him so bad that we
Oh.
got her a kitten. And so Lily's our 9-year-old cat now, and her and Colin are like two peas in a pod. So now they have kind of that bond and that relationship. So I think it's Lily's kind of time to shine here.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just kind of going with the flow on that end. But yeah, I get asked that a lot. I'm like, when's Stanley coming back? I'm like, that's kind of the balls in Colin's court there.
Yeah. It's so cool that he's always with you, though, and
Yeah.
that you knew he was with Breeze when she passed. I
Oh my
mean,
God. Yeah. Yeah.
like that when you said that, I was like, oh my God, my heart broke. I was like, it's so beautiful and it's so devastating at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
But it was really cool too because in the reading, like as Mika was showing you my niece, she was telling you that she was playing with my niece on the other side. And so it's like they're not just connected to us, they're connected to everyone we love.
So amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And, and I do remember that vision that she was showing me with your niece playing with her. And then I just was working with another woman a couple days ago whose dog recently passed away. And the dog, was showing me that he's always been her spirit guide, like one of her guides, and being with her as a
Oh,
little girl too.
Wow.
And so he showed me this really cool music box that she had. And so I asked her about that. She's like, yeah, I remember that music box. And he's like, because he's showing me he was standing beside you as a little girl and you were opening it and like listening to the song and like your jewelry was in there and all this stuff. And so he was showing me, okay, I've been with you since you came to this earth.
oh.
You've never been alone. I've always been watching you. Then I came into a body. Now I had to go get fixed and I'll be back again.
Wow. That's definitely what came through the reading with Norm, I think. And I remember you telling me, like, he has been with you since you were a child, and the dreams that you thought were dreams were not dreams. And that's just
Right.
stayed
So
with me.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. Um, yeah, which is really cool because they want to come in dreams. It's easy for them to come in dreams. Almost like I had the weirdest experience the other night. I have to tell you this because that just reminded me. So I was lying with Breeze and I was half asleep. And you know that dream state, and you're just like, is this real? Am I asleep? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Mm.
And sometimes at night, as I'm falling asleep, I will get messages about a client I'm working with the next day, whether it's a human or a dog. And I will like, okay, I got to remember that. So Breeze showed me her higher self. And she was this magnificent being in the heavens and smiling down at me. And I got so scared for a moment because I
Wow.
thought she had died again. And so I like in my head, I'm like, Jaime, calm down. You're holding her. I was literally spooning her and I could feel her breathing. But I got scared that because I don't want to go through that again. So I
Mm.
got so scared that she had died in her sleep. And then I snapped out of it. I'm like, okay, just sit with the energy for a moment. And I felt her higher self for about 3 seconds before it was gone.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and that reminded me of Ellen, you and Norm, and just, yeah, connecting with him as a little girl in those dream states, and connecting with him on a higher plane.
Yeah. It's so powerful. And it's just, I just find, I mean, maybe it's because I just haven't experienced this level of connection before, but it was like instantaneous, that sort
Yeah.
of connection when you first meet them. And it's just like, oh yeah, you're familiar, like you're definitely, there's something that I've known about you, um, yeah, it's
Well,
really
and even the
beautiful.
story about how Norm came into your life is could have seemed so coincidental too.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which coincidentally also, I mean, I feel like all of this is like nothing's coincidence, right? But the person who brought Norm into my life is the same person that brought Jaime into our lives.
Oh,
It was Claire.
whoa.
Right. And
So
Claire just had a baby.
yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, right. I totally forgot that was the connection.
Yeah. So I feel like there's something very deeply meaningful there too. Like it felt very yeah, I don't know, like Claire was the vehicle. She was like the messenger and the
Yeah,
connector in both
right.
of these cases. Yeah.
And there's always a cool way about that. And you'll love this story. It's very similar about the connection. So that dog I was just telling you about who sleeps at the on the pillows, the Bernese
Mm.
mountain dog. So this was last week. I was working with him on the other side or her on the other side. And this dog flashed me back to her owner's previous life. And she was a nurse in World War I. And her dog was there. And I didn't know at the time, but like those types of dogs were in World War I to keep soldiers warm in the trenches. She
Oh,
told me.
wow.
Whoa.
But she's like, well, that's interesting because I'm a nurse in this life. And I was like, oh, no way. That's cool that he showed me that. And I'm like, and where do you live again? And she's like, she told me this town she's from. And I was like, well, I'm from that town.
Whoa.
And it's a couple hours outside of Toronto.
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
goodness.
well, what hospital do you work at? She's like, well, I actually work at this hospice intake center. And I was like, well, my grandmother went into hospice 3 years ago. And she's like, well, there's only one hospice place in this community. And it's a town of or a city, 500,000 people, right? And I was surprised there was only one hospice place. So I said the name and she said, yeah. And she's like, what's your grandmother's name? And I told her my grandmother's name and she screamed. She was like, I know your grandmother.
Oh,
And
whoa.
What?
and we knew your grandmother. Everyone thought she was hilarious and all this stuff. And because what my grandmother did, she took a limo to hospice as her last hurrah. And she was there for 7 days. So I tapped into it and she was telling me all these things about my grandmother and all that I didn't even know. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, my grandmother sent her to me
Wow.
after her dog died. So my grandmother on the other side remembered that her hospice intake nurse after she passed away and correlated the journey for her to find me on Google.
That's
Wow.
crazy. Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild? I love it. I love it. And so I had to call my mom after, and my mom remembered this girl, and my aunt from Texas who was there remembered this woman. And oh, it was just such a cool synchronicity. It was so amazing. So, yeah, just like how Claire and the whole Claire Norm combination, right?
Yeah. It was so, I feel like we had this conversation with you, the first conversation. Yeah. I feel like Norm came into our lives and then you came into our lives shortly thereafter. And it's interesting to me just looking at the series of events there where had I met you before Norm came into my life, I don't know if the relationship would have been as meaningful to me or as striking to me. You know what I mean? I had to
Right.
have Norm like present and to experience that level of connection for the first time. You know, it's just so interesting the way it all works out.
Right. There's such a divine plan that we can't even comprehend.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that so interesting to think about?
It's magic.
Like, how
Ugh.
did Norm plan that before he was in his body? You know what I
I
mean? Like, everything has
know.
to be set up.
Totally. Oh, it's so cool.
And I guess that's the biggest lesson with animals and reincarnation is trust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trust. They know what they're doing. You know, give all your worries to them on the other side. They got it covered. They have a plan. You can sit back and relax and just work on yourself.
Yeah. All of me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I totally don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but I know we had talked before this about potentially like trying to connect with Mika and just seeing if she had anything to share for this very special episode. And if she doesn't, I totally understand Meeks.
Well, what I'm getting for right away is that she is laughing right now. She is just like, I'm so glad you guys invited me into this. Um, but it's funny because I want to go to Lola for a second.
Yeah.
Ellen,
Mm.
did Lola pinch her paw? She
Yeah, it happened a little bit. I want to say like maybe about a month ago. She didn't pinch it. That we were on a walk and there was a bee that I like. She was like started kind of hobbling a little bit. I was like, "What's going on? Is there a rock in between her little paw pads or something?"
Maybe
So
she's a
I
bee.
took over. Yeah, I turned over her little paw, and there's a bee burrowing into the middle of it. And she was like trying so hard to shake this bee out. So I had to take a stick and like kind of wedge the bee out.
okay.
But yeah, and then she was kind of like limping for a little bit. I think she got stung in there. I'm not too positive, but
Yeah, because
yeah.
it was I don't know why Mika wanted me to like pay attention to that. So but Mika's like, well, talk about Lola's paw. Okay. So
Thanks, Mika.
yeah, thanks. She's good. She's good. We got this. Mom wants to hear from you though.
Right? You can't
Let me
make this
just
up.
yeah, let me just sit with it for a second and um yeah, I wanted to get a coin again. Like she's showing me a coin. So I still think you're going to be finding a coin from her. And then Sam, were you at a bakery this morning?
No.
She's showing me like you getting bread or a croissant, and she was saying she was there. So I'm not sure where she's going with that. She's like showing me going to a coffee shop and getting like a takeout coffee and like a takeout croissant or something. Um, okay, why are you showing me that, Mika? Okay. Yeah, there's something there. Do you go to like a Starbucks or a bakery near your house sometimes?
Sometimes, usually not though. So I guess like if it happens again soon, it will make
Ye-
sense why.
Yeah, she's saying like don't force it, but like she's saying that there's going to be like a sign from her there. Like, so don't go out tomorrow. Just do your regular thing. And when the day is that you go there, it's going to be meant for that day.
Hmm.
But I want to try and give you something more concrete. She's mentioning you watching movies in bed.
Yeah.
She wants you to know that she's with you when you're watching the movies in bed. And she's mentioning, or are you having like a fun snack in bed at the time?
Yeah. The other night I was like, I'm obsessed with these little Trader Joe's almond butter cups that I try really hard not to buy, but I had extras, so I just went to bed and I had like five of them while I
Okay,
was.
yeah, because she's so yeah. Okay, because she was like, yeah, she was having like some fun dessert or fun snack in bed the other night, and so she's like, I was sitting there while she
Yeah.
was doing that. Um,
I love that. Every night I'm like, good night, Mika.
yeah, yeah. So continue to do that. But yeah, she keeps showing me you getting up and going into the bathroom. I still think there's going to be a sign in the bathroom.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna keep an eye
yeah,
out. And when that happens, listen, everybody listening is gonna know.
yeah, and it's weird how this like how long it takes for these signs and stuff. Why again our emotional states.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm interested to know about the bakery. Like she's literally showing you going up to the counter, getting a coffee and then like a croissant or a sandwich like in a bag and walking away from the counter, and then something happens. Like I don't know if
Huh.
it's a song that comes on that triggers a memory or there's some sort of synchronicity that's going to happen. So because you don't go all the time, don't force it. Don't be like, I have to go
Right.
to the bakery today. I have to go to the bakery. Just let it flow. Let
Totally.
it flow. And you'll probably maybe put this on the back burner in your memory. And then the one day you're there, you'll be like, oh my God, there's going to be a sign and there's going to be like something prominent. Um,
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. See,
but
guys,
yeah,
this is why we do this.
but yeah,
Keep the
so
hope
she's
alive.
yeah, and I think today she just really wants you to know that she's with you in bed when you watch those movies and you're thinking about her, and that's your comfort zone. You had a rough day grieving, and now you want to go into bed, eat your peanut butter cups, and watch a movie, and she's there comforting you. Um, and remind me, is your grandma over there too with her? Did we talk
Yeah,
about?
yeah,
Oh,
she did show up in the reading. She was sort of standing in the background,
yeah,
my
because
city.
yeah, I'm feeling her again with Mika. There too. So yeah, she again, just a reminder that she's with family. They're both there watching out for
You
you.
know what's crazy about that is right after Mika passed, I don't know if you remember this, Ellen, but I did one of your Breathe Cannabis journeys. And it was like this insane journey. Like it was so deep. Um, and that was the first time my Siti ever came in. Like it was the first time I connected with her since she passed, like that I could really feel her. And she's been popping in and out ever since.
Yeah, that's really cool. I wonder if because you were doing that cannabis journey, like you got into the higher meditative like realm where you can connect to more source energy. And so maybe that's why she's coming in now because
Yeah.
you opened kind of that door to her.
Yeah. That's so powerful. I mean truly it really is like the biggest gift that I received from your reading, and there were so many, is just that like that connection is so very palpable still. Um, and the more that I pay attention to it, the more the signs come through. Obviously, mostly on better days than on worse days, because the
Yeah,
grieving process is so up and down.
right. Right. And again, you're like, okay, I'm having a bad day. I'm missing you so much today. Please show me you're here. And you
Yeah,
don't get the sign, but it's like because they know you were emotionally fragile
yeah.
and
I
they
don't
don't
know if
want to make it worse.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie it's called Dog. It's with Channing Tatum and
Oh, I
he's
haven't seen it yet.
oh my
No.
God. I watched it last night and I cried through like the whole second half. It was such a good movie. And like his relationship to the dog was like so beautiful. And at one point it was like I was laying on the couch and I could feel Mika like sitting in the corner of between the couch and the coffee table like she used to. And I even like reached my hand down and just sort of like felt the energy. It was like I could feel her
Right.
silhouette.
Yes. Yes. And it's so good that you're tapping into that because her energy is there. They do sit where they used to.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So amazing. Yeah. I haven't seen it, but my friend, when I was grieving Breeze, took me to a dog's journey or purpose. The first one with Dennis
Oh
Quaid.
my God. I heard
Oh,
And
God.
I'm
I would
not
have
gonna
cried through the whole
lie,
thing.
I packed my purse with cans of wine, like individual. Because I was like, I'm going because she dragged me out of the house because I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't go to bed, and she dragged me out of the house. I'm like, fine, I'm drinking wine in this theater, and I was the only person in that theater who did not shed a tear because I was like, yep, that dog is reincarnating. I'm getting my dog back too.
Yeah.
And that movie pumped me up and I was stronger. Um, and yeah, so it is interesting. But I haven't watched any of the other sequels to that movie yet because I don't know. I'm too sensitive still, but no, it empowered me. I'm like,
Yeah.
so I'm interested to see this Channing Tatum one because yeah, to portray the power of the love of our animal and that connection.
Mm.
It is so beautiful. And then there's the art of racing in the rain. Have you seen that one?
Oh no.
No.
Oh my God. Okay. Sam, watch that one tonight.
Okay.
It's with Milo I can't even say his last name. The dad from This Is Us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
him. And
Okay.
it's the art of racing in the rain and his relationship with his dog and this dog's life and everything. And that's a good one. That's a
Oh,
good
I love it.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other cool thing is like I remember I used to tell Mika like 100 times a day that I loved her. And everybody would make fun of me and they're like, why do you always say that? I'm like, because you have to say it as much as possible because you don't know how much longer you're going to be able to say it in person. And every
Yeah.
time
So
I would like bend
true.
over and give her a hug, I could see like her energy hovering. It was like this like almost luminescent blue little like orb. And sometimes I can see
Mm.
that now. And it'll
Uh,
just like pop in when I'm like walking down a hallway, or like sometimes when I'm just going to the bathroom and I'm like, oh, she's right
oh, that's
here.
so interesting. You just said that because that's how I see Mika too. When she
Really?
comes in, yeah, she's like blue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, a lot of blue energy. I love that.
Yeah.
I
It's so special.
It is so special. Oh, and it's so great that you're so open and accepting of that energy and the time frame and
Yeah,
I
the
love it.
time
I love it.
frame.
Yeah, you're
I just keep
speeding up.
yeah, I keep trying to forget the time frame, but
Yeah, no, speed it up. And you're already speeding it up because you're acknowledging it. Like you just said, you're walking down the hall and you see her blue aura. Yeah, by that's how you're going to do it, is
yeah.
trusting your intuition, your instincts, honoring yourself, going within, so you're on the right process or on the right path. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait till we're talking in hopefully less than 7 years from now, and and we're talking about how Mika reincarnated and the crazy
oh my
synchronicities
gosh.
and messages. It's going to be really special.
okay,
We
so
definitely.
let's make a time frame. Let's try and bring it down to 2 years.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
Mika, I will meditate 3 hours a day for you if you come back in 2 years.
Well, and remember, I don't know if I told you this, Sam. Another client of mine, her dog is on the other side, and she's in the process of him coming back too. And his dog told me that she needs to travel to Italy. So when I asked her about this, she said, my dream is to go to Italy. And I'm like, well, your dog is saying go, and then it'll be time to come back. So, and sometimes we don't have to do the meditation and all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
so for her journey is this dog knows that if he comes back, mom is never going to leave him and go travel to Europe.
Wow.
So she, after our session, she booked a plane ticket. So she's going this in the spring.
Ah, that's so
Amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, because I'm like, admit it, if when he comes back, there's no way on earth you are going to be traveling overseas. And she's like, you're right. I'm not. I'm like,
Yeah.
so he's pushing you. You have to go. You have to have this experience because it's something you've always wanted to do.
Yeah, that
So
makes a lot of sense.
and I'm like, and I told her, I'm like, consider yourself lucky. Like your
Yeah.
lesson is to go travel to Italy for
Go
3 weeks.
go on a
Easy,
vacation.
easy.
I
So
know.
yeah. But also she does have to take a step back from work. She works too much. So that was
Mm,
her other thing. She needs to find that work-life balance and really honor herself and her personal time as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, so there was a bit more to it to that, but simple, like,
yeah.
okay, let's do these things. Yeah,
Yeah.
so let Sam speed it up.
All right. We're setting that intention now. Mika, you're on board 2 years. It's happening.
Yeah. Even schedule our podcast for her reincarnation.
Oh
Put
my
it on the
God.
calendar. Be
We're gonna
like,
do it
yeah, and let's
immediately
make it
following this.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait. I love this plan. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Jaime, thank you so much. This has been such a special episode. And I really feel like it was and Ellen even pointed this out because she had the same idea. She had this idea of bringing you back to talk about reincarnation right around the same time that we had scheduled my session. And I had been thinking about it that morning. It was like all these synchronicities came together at the same time. Um, so, like, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, how much your readings meant and still mean, and like just the profound amount of resilience and hope that you've given me. And we like to end every episode by asking if there's any like one piece of wisdom that you really want to share with everyone in this community that has really impacted your journey and your work. Like, what would that be?
I think it just goes back to the trust. Like,
Mm.
trust the love that your animal has for you. They're never going to leave you. It may feel like that at this moment when you're grieving and so low, but they aren't leaving. And even if you just want to shoot me a message, an email, a phone call, like, we can talk about that, like
Yeah.
I'm here to support people through their journeys. You don't have to book a session. We can just chit chat. Um, I can tell you more about my experiences and how Breeze and the other animals I work with prove to me that they are still with us. And I know that sometimes can be hard to trust energy, but energy is everywhere.
Yeah.
And so they haven't left us. They know what they're doing. Let them do their job. You relax as best as possible, and you'll see them again.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me back. And I really enjoy these conversations with you ladies and with your animals. And
Yeah.
Norm, Lola, and Mika have like all changed my lives, and they are so wise and amazing. So all animals are, but I've really enjoyed speaking with all of you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you've had such a huge impact on all of us too. So
it's been so special.
I know this is not the end. This is like many, many more conversations to happen. And
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And for sure, we're going to schedule that reincarnation
Mika
episode.
Can't awesome. Wait. We're going to make this happen.
Putting it in motion.
Perfect.
Music for Woo New is composed by Adam Miller.